Thanks for joining Sales with Suli, a mom of three who spent the last 12 summers knocking doors. Welcome to my podcast where I talk about all things women, the ups and downs of my journey, and what it takes to find success on and off the doors. Enjoy this episode. Welcome back to this week's episode with Sales with Suli. It's just going to be me today. I'm kind of excited to kind of just put some thoughts out there as some of you women, even some of you men. It's been fun to have some of you guys just kind of like reach out and talk about the struggles and how I've kind of overcome some things. And I'm here to tell all of you guys that crap stings for everyone. Kind of behind the smiles is a lot of things that have just been disoriented. And kind of as I reflect on the year 2022, it has been a fun, rough, exciting year. And as some of you women kind of reach out about struggles in relationships while in door-to-door, struggles with kids while in door-to-door, struggles with your managers, with yourself, just with the tons of different struggles that you guys have kind of asked, like, how do I overcome XYZ? So this episode is kind of just a list of some of the things that I have had to deal with in the year 2022. And I know that some of you guys kind of like look at me or kind of look at some people that you guys see on social media or leaders or managers who are just doing super well. And yes, a lot of times we're kind of just showing and sharing the glimpses of the good things that are happening within our lives and within our careers. And I mean, to be quite honest, I don't want to hear all the sob stories when I'm on social media either. Like, I don't want to listen and hear from all the negative Nancys and the victim mentality on why things just aren't working in their personal lives. And so I do want to take some time, though, to just kind of share some of the things that I had to battle. And I've kind of tapped in one of my earlier episodes. I have shared some of the biggest struggles that I've had in each year of door to door. But as I reflect on 2022 and just kind of like some of the successes, I'm like, there was a lot of challenges behind the scenes too. And I kind of want to share some of those with you guys as well. So this last year, I had finally closed out a 2-year lawsuit that I had been battling. It's been one of the most emotionally draining things that I've ever had to endure in my life, but I've also learned just my worth throughout this lawsuit as well, and just how valuable of a human being that I am internally to myself and externally in this space. But it was not fun to be dealing with a raunchy lawsuit over this last year. Also, in this same year, I basically lost a partnership with one of my closest friends who ended up going and starting a solar company for himself. And it ended up just working out better for him, his family, and everything like that. But because of that, I ended up having to run a solar team completely on my own with only one summer of solar experience under my belt. A lot of people see me out there and see me on the stage and think that I have like all this solar experience, but I will be the first to tell you that I'm still learning, I'm still failing, and I feel like that my team and the people who are working with me like see more of my failures than most people do in this space because, quite frankly, I have 2 summers of experience in solar, but it's just because of my work ethic that I am where I'm at. So battled a lawsuit, lost a friend, and ended up having to manage a team on my own with only one summer of sales experience. I mean, granted, I've definitely had a ton of help along the way, but 24/7 managing a team on my own. Also this last year, I know a lot of you guys are, dealing with like family situations or husbands or exes and things like that. I felt like this year was also a big year for family trauma, just things just being surfaced. And I had to face a lot of those things throughout the summer while running a team. And people don't see that. It's been one of the most heart-wrenching years for me to kind of just open my eyes on the family dynamic of things that I want and don't want, kind of in my circle. Also, in this last year, I found out that even people who are in your face on a regular basis, that see you daily and are rooting for you, for me, are also the same people behind closed doors who are rooting for your failures. That was super hard for me to be able to hear, see, and experience for myself, this last year. Also, in this same year, I lost reps that I never thought that I would lose. It was very eye-opening to see and hear and feel reps wanting to be in other places. And at the end of the day, I'm here to say, like, if it's not working for you and for yourself, like internally and for your family dynamics and for you, like, yeah, maybe that's not the right place. And I had to be able to accept that this year as well. This last year, I probably had more overwhelming, anxious days than I ever had in my 14 years or 14 summers of door-to-door. And a lot of you guys most people didn't see it because of the tools and the counseling and the coaching that I get on a regular basis. It may not have showed that I was overwhelmed or anxious, but I probably was more often than not, which is just kind of why I enjoyed my alone time, my drive into area and things like that. I was able to kind of decompress and kind of work those things internally. One of the biggest things that was super hard for me in 2022, my kids had more sick days than any year that I've had in door-to-door. And my youngest son was even hospitalized while I was on a blitz. He was in the hospital for a week. And it was one of the most heart-wrenching things to be able to, running a team on my own and like, hey, do I get up and leave and go and take care of my son who I can't do anything for while he's in the hospital? Or do I keep showing up for these reps who kind of like just sacrificed and gave up their whole lives to come and be here and kind of change the trajectory of their future family as well? And so although that you guys see a lot of the good things happening, like this was one of the hardest years for me internally, like by myself. But in that same year that I had all these struggles and all these battles that I had to face internally, a lot of amazing things happened. This same year, my kids had traveled to over 7 countries. I was able to invest over $400,000 of my personal income because of door-to-door. I became a partner in one of the fastest growing car management companies. I added an additional 9 vehicles into my Turo fleet. I'm under contract with 10 doors that I'm adding to my rental portfolio. I earned a golden door in solar and had the number 2 top team in our sales organization. And I share all of these things because I want each of you to know that you aren't the only one struggling. You aren't the only one having relationship issues. You aren't the only one who doesn't want to get out of your car. You aren't the only one who has kids at home who are kind of trying to get figured out. You aren't the only one who are questioning yourself. There are so many of us out there. So what? Nobody is out there wanting to listen to the victim mentality all day, every day. And I think for me, and the amount of coaching and work that I've had to do throughout the years, the same year that was the biggest struggle for me was also one of the biggest financial years for me as well, as far as like getting catapulted for my kids' generational wealth. And so for those of you out there who are struggling and who are questioning whether door-to-door is for you while you're dealing with family, while you're dealing with relationships, while you're dealing with yourself internally, just know that there is help out there. Just know that even while you're struggling with those things, if you're focusing on the controllables and getting help where you need to, you will be able to find success in the same years that you are struggling. Everyone is going to be having issues around you. So what, friends? Work harder. See you on the next one. Thanks for taking the time to tune in. If I've added any kind of value to your thoughts on knocking doors, please share this podcast with another female rep. Until next time, know that you are capable, you are valued, and most importantly, you are enough.